Good afternoon, everyone. I am thrilled. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to be here and to have been selected as your new Chief Diversity Officer. I want to thank our President and our Provost for your wonderful introductions. Thank you. And I also wanted to host this event because many of you know me. As the President said, I'm not new to Gallaudet, but at the same time, there's some new students that I haven't met, some new faculty and staff that I haven't met as well. I'm curious, how many students are here with us now? Can you raise your hands, please? And how many faculty? Great. And how many staff? Wow. It's really nice to have all of your support. I will never forget when the President's announcement went out on December 16th, announcing to the community that I had been selected for this position. My phone exploded. And honestly, I received 66 messages constantly of welcoming and well wishes and congratulations, and I will never forget that. And I did respond to each one. I thought that I was going to develop carpal tunnel syndrome from texting. But it gave me so much joy, and I appreciate your support. I wanted to take the time to talk about my new position. My official title is Deputy President and Associate Provost for Diversity, Faculty, Staff Inclusion, and Training. But as the President said, we will refer to my position as CDO, and I think you all would prefer that. But anyway, CDO, what's that? There's been a lot of talk. What on earth is a CDO, and what does a CDO do? We have EEO officers, we have an ombud, so I wanted to take an opportunity to share where the CDO comes from. Actually, this is not a new position. In the 1970s, when a large group of black students came into historically white universities, those universities were not prepared for these students. And so at that time, they set up positions entitled Vice President for Minority Affairs, Vice President for International Affairs, and they focused on race and ethnicity, social justice issues. That's the historical background. Today, CDO is a similar concept, but the name has changed. It's a new title, but it's the same type of work. And there are some differences, but for the most part, that's where these came from. Because in the 1970s, those colleges and universities were seeing a change in their demographic. And that's the same thing that's happening at Gallaudet today. If you look around Gallaudet, we're a very diverse community. And I was struck at just how diverse Gallaudet is during President Hurwitz's inauguration. How many of you attended the inauguration? I remember well sitting there, and it was beautiful to see all of the students and faculty and staff process in with the flags representing 52 nations. 52! And I thought to myself, does Gallaudet really represent 52 nations? And when I followed up and asked the International Affairs Office to verify that, we indeed have students from 52 nations at the university. And that was outstanding to me. But it represents the breadth of diversity that we have at the university. Our current student population represents 30% students of color. Our Graduate Research Institute does an annual survey. And in that survey, they talk to kids from 3 to 21 and find of 2007, the study in 2007 found that 50% of those students from the ages of 3 to 21, 50% of those students are students of color. So we know what that means for Gallaudet, that we can expect our community to become even more diverse. And each of you has a unique appreciation and value, and I'm excited about us working together to appreciate and respect our differences. Going back to the CDO position, today primarily CDOs are different from the 1970s in that the CDO really supports the university in leading the diversity agenda. And that's not something I can do alone. Each of us must be involved. CDOs are collaborators, working with each academic unit, department, seeing how we can infuse diversity in our curriculum, in our co-curricular activities, and throughout the university, so that all of us and all of our students thrive. That's the goal of diversity. So there are a lot of assumptions that the CDO does the job alone, but I'm here to tell you I cannot do it without your full support and involvement. And there will be many opportunities for you to be involved. The other assumption about the CDO is that we are a campus police officer telling people what to do. Let me just say, that's an assumption that's not true. It's not my job and it's not my role. It's rather to work with each of you to discuss how we can make Gallaudet a more inclusive, diverse living and learning environment for all. People say to me, we have an ombuds and we have an EEO officer, so why do we need a CDO? Our ombuds is the person who's here, and Susie's here. Susie, can you wave? Students, faculty, and staff have an opportunity for informal concerns or issues or so forth. They can go to her office and discuss those things off the record. She maintains confidentiality unless someone threatens to harm themselves or others. And then there are laws that she is bound to follow. And that's why we have the ombuds for students, faculty, and staff, to have another channel to be able to express their concerns. Our EEO officer basically handles formal complaints, formal, documented, identified complaints. She may not keep those confidential. That's the difference between the two. When you file a complaint of social justice and so forth, the CDO is primarily involved with academic and curricular programming activities, but the CDO throughout other universities at times are involved in sexual harassment issues. However, my primary responsibility will not be that. So I wanted to take time to show the distinction between those three positions. I've decided to list some of my primary responsibilities, but before I do that, I want to let you know that I've developed a website called Diversity www.gallaudet.edu. And I do hope you'll take time to visit the website. And it includes my first 100-day action plan goals. They are posted there. So in addition to what I've established as my 100-day plan, I'll also list some other responsibilities: to develop policies and practices to guide the university toward its vision of an inclusive living, learning, and working environment; establishing and monitoring the implementation of guidelines for the university that ensure equity, inclusion, social justice, and diversity; thirdly, to promote a learning community in which all major programs, organizational bodies involve students, faculty, and staff from diverse backgrounds and life experiences. And I know this slide violates the PowerPoint rules because there's too much information there, but I wanted to give you some idea or more information about what it is that I do. And that's to create an inclusive campus climate through focus groups, dialogues, and other research-based initiatives. And this is for people who differ based on their race, ethnicity, gender, religion, abilities, language, communication, and so forth. We have communication and language dialogue scheduled for next Tuesday, February 8th at 4 p.m. And I do hope that you all will be able to come and join us. It's really an opportunity for many of us to sit down with people we would otherwise not talk to talk about language and communication issues, and I hope you come. I'm responsible for all of the planning and everything that leads our diversity efforts. And my office is located in HMB, for now, on the first floor of HMB. Hopefully you'll feel free to stop by anytime. Email me when you have a chance. I will establish a diversity goal, both short and long term, and your feedback and input is important for that process. It's something we'll do together. Through this, I will be looking at different academic departments to see what diversity looks like in various departments. Are they indeed diverse or predominantly white, predominantly black? Because we have to look at diversity. And every opportunity that we have, we must consider hiring qualified, diverse people to fill all of those positions. As I mentioned before, our student population is changing. So it's important that we change as well. So in a nutshell, that's my presentation. And I'd like to invite people to come up and make any comments they'd like to about how to make Gallaudet a more inclusive environment. We also have a suggestion box in the back. If you'd like to write notes, to share your thoughts and ideas, I'm open to that. Any questions, comments? No one has a question or a comment? Well, that being said, let's mingle with each other, and thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to working with all of you.